Hello and welcome back to another tournament simulation here on the channel. My name is Craig, and yes, today we are simulating the upcoming 2022 World Cup, and we're going to be seeing if France can indeed retain their crown or if we will crown a new world champion. If you're looking forward to this video, if you go on to enjoy it, or even just seeing how well your team could perform at the upcoming World Cup, assuming they have qualified, make sure you hit the like button down below and click subscribe. It does help the channel out. It's free as well, and you won't miss any future tournament simulations that are coming up on the channel, or even some past ones such as the African Cup of Nations that I have just done. And if you're watching this at the time it's released, the tournament is still ongoing. The link will be floating around my heads somewhere above, or the link will be down in the description for your convenience. So how this tournament is going to work, we're going to be going through who qualified and who was eliminated from the group stages before we get into the knockout rounds, the second round, the quarterfinals, the semi-final and the final, where we will review one game from each round, and of course the final, and show those highlights in the match engine. And eventually we will be crowning a new or retained world champion. I'm doing this intro this time before the tournament actually happens itself, so I don't know what's going to happen. Could be an absolute cracker. But that being said, let's get into the summary of what happened in the group stages. In Group A, Colombia and Nigeria progressed to the second round. The hosts Qatar are out along with Costa Rica. In Group B, the current world champions France are through to the knockout rounds along with Russia. Morocco and Japan are on the way home, Japan with a poor performance of 0 points. England and Spain are through from Group C. Mali, the World Cup debutantes, are out along with Chile. Group D sees Italy on their return to the World Cup go through along with Austria. Argentina surprisingly are out along with Iran with 0 points. Group E sees Croatia and Brazil progress ahead of Holland, who is a surprise to be going out in what seems to be a group of death along with Ghana. Group F, Poland and Denmark make it through to the knockout rounds. Mexico and debutantes, I think Syria, are out of the World Cup. Group G, Belgium and Uruguay are into the knockout rounds. Senegal and Australia are on the way home. And in Group H, Germany and the USA go through. South Korea and surprisingly Portugal are out of the World Cup. So now that the group stages are out of the way, we are down into the business end of the tournament here in Qatar, the knockout round, specifically the second round, where the most intriguing tie appears to be between two nations who may have a claim to going quite far in this tournament: Croatia versus Denmark. A clash between two teams who could very well be dark horses of this tournament, but only one of them will progress. This will be our feature game of the second round here at the World Cup. It is Croatia versus Denmark in the second round of the FIFA World Cup here in Qatar. Two nations with huge aspirations of going on into the later stages of the tournament, but only one will make it through. Croatia, a nation who finished runners-up in the 2018 World Cup, versus Denmark, former European champions, but yet to impose themselves on the world stage. And this is the starting lineups for both nations. For Croatia, Livakovic in goal, Vardiol, Kaletakar, Vida and Vazaushko in defence, Modric and Brozovic in midfield, Rebic, Maher, Ivanusek and on the wings in attacking midfield, and Perisic as the lone striker. For Denmark, it's Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Marley, Kajaya, Nelson and Vass in defence, Højbjerg and Christensen in the base in the midfield, Martin Braithwaite, Eriksson and Poulsen across the attacking midfield, with Kasper Dolberg as the lone striker. And we have the first highlight of the match, and is Croatia on the attack. A beautiful cross into the penalty box, but Schmeichel easily saves the header from, who was that? I can't even click on them, apologies. But Croatia do indeed win the ball back. It's Vardiol. Crosses the ball into Perisic, and was Perisic brought down? I think the referee is dragging it back for a penalty. He will probably consult VAR for this one. Oh, I don't know. I think it was the last defender as well who might have just taken him down, and it is a penalty. And is it going to be Perisic? No, it will be Maya who will be stepping up to score the opening goal, and he does. It's Croatia 1, Denmark 0. Lovro Maya Croatia's opening goal of the contest, and it's only 6 minutes on the clock. Croatia looking to repeat and even better their performance from the 2018 World Cup, and they certainly made a very bright start to doing that. Highlights straight from kickoff here. Dolberg with the ball. Nelson, Christensen. Some nice build-up play here from Denmark, trying to get the ball forward very quickly. Vass, Højbjerg into Braithwaite. You got Male on the overlap. Can he make the cross into the box? No, he can't. Højbjerg, Christensen. And Christensen smacks the post. Very good effort. Very good build-up play by Denmark, looking to come back very strongly at the Croatians. Corner kick to Croatia as we near the end of the first half. It's been cleared. Meyer will pick up the ball and possibly play it back. Nope, he'll try and go on the overlap. Bosovic, Meyer. Croatia trying to take the ball wide, trying to open up a bit of space here against the Danes. Vesalko crosses the ball in, and Perisic, but Perisic couldn't quite get the header away. Vesalko. And that is Rebic. What a header at the back post. I didn't even clock that the defenders didn't get anywhere near that ball. Rebic all alone at the back post. Let's just take another look at this as it's now 2-0 to Croatia. Looking to be in cruise control here against the Danes going into half time. And Rebic just completely unmarked. Back post. The Danes didn't even know he was there. Very good header. Schmeichel, all 6 foot, what is he, 6'5" of him, couldn't get to the ball quick enough. And unfortunately for the Danes, it's looking like an uphill task here at half time. 2-0 Croatia as we get the second half underway. Okay, so the second round of the World Cup has been completed, and these are the featured results. Russia beat Colombia 2-1 to advance to the quarterfinals. France, the current holders, the current world champions, beat Nigeria 2-1. Spain was seen off by Italy in the second round after extra time, 3-1. Belotti and Pellegrini with the goals after the full 90 minutes. England beat Austria after extra time 3-2. Tammy Abraham with the winning goals in extra time. Brazil beat Poland 2-1, and the featured game we just saw, Croatia beat Denmark 2-1. And in the final two matches, Belgium beat the USA 2-0 and Uruguay beat Germany after extra time. So I believe that means 1, 2, 3, 4... effectively 6 of the 8 nations left in the tournament are all European. The only non-European representatives will be Brazil and Uruguay for South America. So these will be the quarterfinal matchups. And of course the featured headline game, it has to be France versus England will be our highlights game for the quarterfinals. Russia, Italy in the second quarterfinal, and the final two being Brazil versus Belgium and Croatia versus Uruguay. Some tasty matchups. I think we can all agree France versus England will be the major heavyweight clash for the quarterfinals that we will be viewing here at the World Cup. We reignite the old rivalry between France and England here at the 2022 World Cup. It is the quarterfinals. It is the last 8. Both nations with aspirations to get to the semi-finals and even the final of the World Cup. It's France versus England, the reigning world champions, against the potential world champions of England, a young team that has been getting steadily better over the last few years, ever since their fourth place finish at the 2018 World Cup. And this is the starting 11 for both nations. For England, Ramsdale in goal, Chilwell, Tomori, White and Walker as the back four. Declan Rice sitting in the base in midfield with Ward, Prowse and Jude Bellingham ahead of him. Jack Grealish and Raheem Sterling on the wings with Harry Kane as the sole striker. For France, it's how do you pronounce his name? Manan? Let's just go with that name. In goal, Theo Hernandez, on the left wing, left back. Hernandez and Varane as the centre backs with Pavard at right back. Bakayoko at the base of the midfield with Pogba and Kante surprisingly ahead of him in the midfield alongside Pogba. Mbappe on the left wing, Griezmann on the right wing, and Karim Benzema defying age to lead the lineup for the French. France, of course, looking to retain their World Championship from 2018, the reigning World Champions. England looking to bounce back from the disappointing semi-final exit in the 2018 World Cup. They'll be hoping to go one step further and reach a final of the World Cup for the first time since 1966, and also to take the bitter taste of the Euro 2020 final defeat out of their mouths as well. They're looking for some redemption after the last 2 tournaments. I say that it's their best performances at the 2 world tournaments for a very, very long time, and the French look likely to destroy that momentum. Unfortunately, Mbappe, one of the world's best players, if not the world's best player, putting France 1-0 up after just 15 minutes of surging run forward. Beautiful ball forward by Pogba. And Mbappe, he just wasn't being stopped as soon as he was on the go. Ramsdale could have done better there, but Mbappe, I think you see him in that sort of position, you're going to bet the house on him putting the ball in the back of the net, and he has done. France 1, England 0. And Mbappe with the free kick here. There is Varane and Kante just wide. Could have put France 2-0 up. It is looking all France at the moment. Looking very difficult for the English. Tomorrow is looking tired already, and we're only half an hour into the game. They haven't had much in this game so far. And Tomori looks to be having a torrid time, actually. He's not only tired, but he's also on a booking, which is very dangerous territory for the English right now. And then they're going to need to regroup at half-time. France 1, England 0. Not much so far for England, certainly not on a highlight-wise. Until now, they could get a chance here. Bellingham. There is Kyle Walker at the header, but it's just been cleared by the French, only as far as Ben White in defence, who's playing it back into Sterling. A little bit of trickery here from Sterling, going down the right-hand side, crosses it in, and it was a good header, but the keeper was equal to it, saving it very comfortably. Just on the goal line, but comfortable save in the end for him. England are going to need to do something here, especially substitutions-wise, and they have done. Phillips coming on for Bellingham, Sterling going off for Saka. Rashford has also just come on for Jack Grealish, but there are a lot of tired legs out there. Kyle Walker looks absolutely spent, whereas the French look relatively fresh still. In fact, if we just have a look, there are a few tired players for the French, but there's still quite a few fresher players. Lucas Hernandez is looking okay, their substitutes obviously looking good. Antoine Griezmann having a poor game despite the fact he's on the winning side right now. Kind of says that Mbappe carrying the wings at the moment, Griezmann not having the best of games. Wonder if the France do go through here, will they persist with Griezmann on the right hand side? Coman, he might be an option for the right hand side, and that has just been a sloppy tackle by Declan Rice. Poor tackle on Kante. It's going to VAR. The referee may give this as a penalty because it looks nailed on. It is a penalty, and France have a chance here to seal up the victory. It's not quite what their Euro 2024 contest was in the previous simulation in FM21, and that was a penalty save by Aaron Ramsdale. England still in this amazingly, despite, I wouldn't say relative domination by the French, but England have just created nothing worthwhile, and it looks like the French will hang on here for a very, very priceless victory. They have knocked the English out of the World Cup at the quarterfinal stage. England just haven't performed in this at all. They've gone so far as playing Bukayo Saka in central midfield. Probably not a good idea. But the French overall, good performance by them. Then midfield and defence doing the work, as well as Kylian Mbappe. France 1, England 0, France into the final 4. And so the quarterfinals of the World Cup have been completed. As we've just seen, England have been knocked out by the current holders, France. That Kylian Mbappe goal being the only one of the entire game. Italy thrashed Russia 3-0 to stake their place in the last 4. And joining them, a big one, Belgium smacking Brazil 4-1. That's quite a statement victory, actually. Lukaku, Tielemans, Doku and Mertens. Doku got sent off as well. Well, it was the 90th minute. It was done by that point. And Croatia are also into the last 4. 2-1 win against Uruguay. So, Croatia and France get back into the semi-finals of the World Cup. Italy on a redemption story after not qualifying for the for the 2018 World Cup at all. Belgium are also back in the semi-finals as well. So 3 of the last 4 from 2018 are the 3 of the last 4 for 2022. And that will mean I've already gone forward as well. So the semi-finals have already started. And in the first semi-final, Italy did beat Belgium. So they are into the World Cup final after a 3-2 win of Humdinger. A very, very good semi-final. Immobile twice and Chiesa for the Italians, with Mertens scoring for Belgium to keep it interesting. And that means our feature semi-final will be a rematch of the World Cup final from 2018. France versus Croatia will be coming up in just a moment. Alright, here we go, folks. It is the rematch of the 2018 World Cup final, France versus Croatia. In the semi-finals, the winner will face the Italians in the 2022 World Cup final here in Qatar. France, of course, as mentioned previously, are the reigning holders, the reigning world champions. Croatia looking for redemption over a French side who destroyed them 4-2 in that 2018 final. Can an aging Croatian side do it one last time, reach the World Cup, and maybe even go one step further, as Perisic gets the ball forward here, very early doors, 20 seconds on the clock, and it's a good chance for the Croatians, but the French gets lucky on that one. It is just wide. Here are the starting 11 for both nations. So Croatia first, Livakovic in goal, Vardiol, Kalatakar, Vida and Vasalshko in defence, Modric and Brozovic in midfield, with Perisic, Maya and Rebic in the attacking midfield positions. Perisic not up front this time. Instead, that's Kramaric, who is the lone striker for Croatia. In goal for the French, in goal Mainan, he's the goalkeeper. Mendy, Kimpembe, Upamecano and Pavard in defence. Bakayoko at the base of the midfield with Camavinga and Kante in midfield. Pogba must be being rested. I'm going to guess he's on the bench. Yes, he is. Mbappe on the left wing. Griezmann retains his place on the right wing despite a poor performance in the last match. Benzema up front. With so many games having been played, of course both nations have played 5 games in about 3 weeks. It's going to be a case of who will stay the fittest for longer, and by the looks of it, Croatia are already starting to tire. They are an ageing squad. Obviously, Modric is, I was about to say, is ageing, one of the ageing players, but it doesn't matter because Perisic has put Croatia 1-0 up after just 18 minutes. All from the throw-in, a short throw-in. Modric back to Vardiol into Perisic. And it's actually, it was Rebic and Perisic who were linking up. Perisic with the goal. Rebic claims the assist. Nice bit of play from the Croatians from that throw-in. France just seem to be all over the place in these opening exchanges. Not seen much from them so far in these opening 24 minutes. And that could change here because there is a highlight. Mainan playing the sweeper-keeper role very far out from his own goal. Kante plays it into Pavard, who can strike it from long range. Let's not forget Griezmann plays it into the box, and there is Mbappe, the greatest player in the world, clearly. He just shows up. He's clutch for France at the moment, and Griezmann gets himself the assist, and Mbappe, it'll just be interesting to see how many goals he scores in this tournament so far. We will check that at the end of the tournament. I anticipate he'll be in the hunt for the golden boot at these finals. And it is 1-1 after 24 minutes. The French are back in it. And it could be another classic battle between these two nations after the World Cup final. 4-2 that finish. I mean, that has to be one of the most open World Cup finals in living memory. And we are approaching half-time here, and it looks to be all square going in at the break. It'll be interesting to see how both teams will fare for the second half. The French, though, have edged it just about towards the end of the first half. The Croatians started very strong, but have just since faded away, and it's looking like France could be the most likely to go on and score. They've certainly got more energy compared to probably about half the Croatian team. Again, they are ageing, a lot of the Croatian team. Modric is. I think Brozovic is. I'm not sure. He could be ageing a little bit. I mean, I said that before, and then Croatia took the lead, so the experience clearly counts for everything. Oh, that hit the post. I think the game just lagged there. But I think that ball did just smack the post and bounce out. The keeper was well beaten there. And the French are just starting to turn on the performances now. Some of their players showing up. Mbappe is tiring for France. Perisic tiring for the Croatians. Substitutions are surely being made now. Perisic has gone off. Maya has gone off. Modric has also gone off. So the Croatians have made their substitutions. They've played their hand. It's now down to the French, who have taken off Benzema, Pavard and Bakayoko. So by the looks of it, a tired Kylian Mbappe could still be better than having no Mbappe on the bench at all. It'll be interesting to see if France do make it through to the final. Will Mbappe start? And at the moment, we could be waiting. Oh, no, wait. There could be a late winner here. Livakovic catches the ball from the resulting corner. It could be a late winner here. Otherwise we will be heading for extra time. The ball's played through for Rebic, who has one last chance. Oh, he shoots it over, and it could have been Croatia's last chance. Kramaric is having a terrible game, and we are indeed going to extra time. And this semi-final clash is going to come down to, again, who is the fitter of the two teams. As Kramaric has a free kick, but it is over the bar. Otherwise, this is going to be settled by a penalty shootout. At that point, I'm just going to sit back and be like, it's luck of the draw. That's all it would be at this point, just luck of the draw. But France look more deserving, especially by XG. They, again, look the most likely to score, but they are tiring heavily now, many of their players. Even the substitutes are tiring heavily. That is a free kick that has been caught. I was just holding my breath there for a moment. I thought that was going to go over the keeper and in. That would have been a spectacular free kick to have gone in. Rebic trying to chase the ball down, but the French keeper, Mainan, scoops it up comfortably. Griezmann into Pogba. He's seen Coman on the run, and Coman slots it home, but it could be offside. The keeper's going to check this on VAR. The Croatian players are protesting. A goal now, and it could look like France will seal it. I think that's a goal. The confirmation doesn't come up, but we are seeing the replay. I think it's standing. I think the goal, it has stood. Coman has scored for France. Are we going to get the lines? Are we going to see... Oh, it's very tight. Very, very tight. But the goal does stand, and Kingsley Coman has scored for France. They are just a few minutes away from the World Cup final. That is very harsh on the Croatians, but they have just tired out. The players are out of breath. An ageing squad that looks like it could do with some younger legs, and it is the case. France are into the final. Will they retain their World Championship? They will take on Italy in the World Cup final. Croatia bow out, apart from a third place playoff, which we won't even be watching because no one cares. And so here we are, folks. It is the World Cup final. It hasn't skipped my notice. I forgot to mention who actually won the third place playoff. We'll come to that after this game anyway. But we are here to crown the world champions, Italy or France. The teams are lining up now on the field, ready for battle. Italy, four-time world champions, who last won the tournament back in 2006. Before we come to that little history lesson, let's just go through the starting 11 for both nations. In the French lineup, Mainan in goal. It's the two Hernandez at left back and centre back respectively. Then Varane alongside Lucas Hernandez, I believe that is, at centre back, and Pavard in defence at right back. Bakayoko at the base of midfield alongside Pogba and Kante just ahead of him. Thomas Lemar is starting on the left wing, so Mbappe is on the bench, Coman on the right wing, Antoine Griezmann's up front. Interesting, so Karim Benzema is quite tired. Mbappe, as we saw from the semi-final, is very tired. For Italy, this is their starting 11. Donnarumma in goal, Spinazzola, Bastoni, Bonucci and Lazzari in defence, Locatelli at the base of the midfield, Pellegrini and Barella ahead of him, Insigne on the left wing, Chiesa on the right wing, and Ciro Immobile as the lone striker. As mentioned, Italy, four-time world champions. The last time, great save by Mainan, last time they won the World Cup was in 2006. That infamous match, that infamous final in Germany against France, which also was Zinedine Zidane's last game, which ended in utter disgrace. That headbutt heard around the world. France have won the tournament twice, once on their own patch in 1998, and of course the reigning world champions from 2018 in Russia. The question is, who is going to be adding to their tally here? And that's a good chance for Griezmann. Donnarumma does well to save, all 6'5" of them getting down very, very quickly. Will Italy make it a joint record 5-time World Cup wins, or the French win the tournament for the third time in their history? We know what these finals are. They have a history of being very slow burners and then usually getting into the stride of things within the second half and even extra time. We've had several finals in previous simulations that I've done where the finals have all gone to extra time, as Chiesa has been taken down, and that could be very crucial. A penalty potentially for Italy is going to VAR, but that looks stonewall to me. Chiesa did go down heavily. under Theo Hernandez's challenge. It is indeed a penalty. It has been confirmed. Who is stepping up? Immobile stepping up for Italy. Scores. Bottom corner. Italy 1. France 0. 20 minutes on the clock. It is all for France to do. Bear in mind as well, they do not have Mbappe on the pitch. He is on the bench. The question is, by the time he comes on, I'm assuming he's going to be coming on. We all expect that he will be coming on. By the time he comes on, will Italy be out of sight or will France hold on? Could France even turn it around? Who knows? Still feels a very strange decision not to play Kante at the base of that midfield. Affette, oh, that's terrible. Oh my goodness, that was terrible by the Italians. Griezmann just intercepts a poor pass, shoots outside the area. Let's have a look at this. Bonucci, poor pass to Locatelli, and Griezmann intercepts well, shoots from outside the area, and the keeper, Donnarumma, I'm surprised he did not cover that much better than he did. France have equalised in the most auspicious of circumstances. That was terrible from Italy. Their defence normally so solid, but on that occasion, wow, just absolutely failed to clear the ball and start building up a pass. It is 1-1 at half time. The Italians really and truly should be ahead. Okay, it's level on shots and shots on target almost, but you feel like France barely deserved that, having not created too much in the first half from what we saw. France, though, are tiring very heavily. The Italians seem to be holding on energy-wise. Kante off for Camavinga. Insigne is off for Moise Kean. And Pellegrini has gone off for Jorginho in the Italian midfield. Griezmann is off as well. Coman's off. Giroud and Thauvin are on. Barella is off and Tonali is on for the Italians. Sandro Tonali, an awesome young player. I think he must be agreed on in FM22. Future Italian superstar in real life as well. No Mbappe though. And France won't be able to make enough substitution until extra time. Will that substitution, if they make it, be Mbappe? Both teams looking very tired, and yet again, another final goes to extra time. The Italians have so far been, well, judging by XG, the better side. Lamar with the corner in extra time, just over from Varane. Varane, the big tall centre-back, he couldn't quite guide it. Pogba's gone off, Kalulu is on, Chiesa off, Emerson on. So Mbappe's not even going to come on at all because I don't think there's any more substitutions. France are going to try and do this without Mbappe. That is quite crucial. Second half of extra time just starting, and oh, just look at the French team now. That entire left-hand side is completely done. They're going to have to work the ball down the right-hand side, and I think that's what they're going to try and do. Bakayoko into Giroud. Thauvin, good turn. Turns his man. Drives it forward. Can he find a cross? Kalulu crosses it. Oh, Giroud's gone down. Oh my, 3-4 minutes to go. It could be a penalty. Giroud has gone down in the box. France could do this. It's been awarded. France could do this without Mbappe. Who is taking? Thomas Lemar, the man who replaced Mbappe. Scores right down the middle. Full Donnarumma. And France, amazingly, 2-1 up against the Italians. They're going to be kicking themselves. They've squandered an opportunity to be the world champions here. Unless they find an equaliser with just a few minutes left. But the gamble by France could pay off. And under the bright lights of the World Cup final here in Qatar, France have retained the trophy without Kylian Mbappe in that starting 11. He didn't even come on. That's what's most amazing, and it's also scary because the French national team has so much depth to it. But congratulations to France, the 2022 World Cup champions. Very scary generation that we have here. A generation who can do it without Mbappe in the final is a team to be feared. They did get lucky on occasions in this final. That Griezmann goal, the biggest slice of luck. Just very poor from Bonucci, but the French, they were clinical, they took their chances, they took the penalty. The Italians kicking themselves after all is said and done. Italy 1, France 2 after extra time in the World Cup final. Congratulations to France for their third World Cup win. So just confirmation of that result, of course. Italy 1, France 2. And in the other result as well, I said I'd show you the third place playoff. Belgium won 3-1. They finished third for the second consecutive World Cup. Congratulations to Belgium, although you feel their golden generation has kind of passed them by, unless they do well at the Euros in 2024. We'll just have to wait and see. Overall, in the tournaments, of course, France will be confirmed as one of the winners in 2022. Back-to-back champions now. As far as stats go, goals-wise, Romelu Lukaku is the Golden Boot winner. 8 goals for Belgium in 7 games. Congratulations to him. Absolutely stonking attributes that he's got on him. Of course, still contracted to Chelsea. Hasn't quite left for Inter Milan in this universe. Luis Diaz second and Harry Kane joint second as well. 7 goals apiece for Colombia and England respectively. Average rating wise, Robert Lewandowski 8.27. He's the best player at the tournament overall. This could be his final World Cup at 34 years of age. He may not be an international player by the time we get to 2026. Assists wise, we've got a few players on 4 assists. Raheem Sterling for England, Alexei Miranchuk for Russia, Kylian Mbappe for France, Kevin De Bruyne for Belgium, Simi Vasalko for Croatia. All have a joint top assist makers in this tournament. Clean sheets, amazingly, Gianluigi Donnarumma. The most clean sheets, 3 from 7 games for Italy. Very well done to him, but he comes away as a World Cup runner-up. Confirmation as well, 6'5", giant goalkeeper for Paris Saint-Germain. And for the Naughty Boys Club, of course, you've got a few players on 3 yellow cards. Matty Cash for Poland, Cesar Azpilicueta for Spain, and Wilfred Ndidi for Nigeria. Theo Hernandez, no surprise, for France, and Rodrigo Bentancur for Uruguay. Vyacheslav Karavev for Russia, Antoine Griezmann for France, and Timu Bakayoko for France as well. Clearly France knowing how to get stuck in when it's needed the most. But that is indeed the World Cup 2022 simulation. We have seen France have retained their World Championship. Could that be the case when the tournament goes down later this year? Of course, in the blazing heat that will be Qatar, not as hot as the summer, of course. But who knows? France's generation that they have currently is scarily strong. They have some serious depth, and they are going to be one of the heavy favourites, if not the favourites, to retain the world title in Qatar later this year. But I hope that you have enjoyed this simulation. If you have enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button. Camera just shook. So you don't miss any future simulations that are coming up. As I've mentioned, the African Cup of Nations, if you're watching this as this video is coming out, the tournament is still going on. The video will be above my head. Link for it will be above my head, or the link will be down in the description. Go check that out, show some love, leave likes and subscribe, of course. But thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next tournament simulation.